Good morning, everyone. I'm so glad you were able to join me for the webinar. I hope you enjoy the webinar. I hope you get to learn a couple things on our website that you didn't realize was there. If you have any questions, feel free to unmute your phone and ask me a question. If you want to use the chat feature, there's a question area where you can chat a question and we'll take care of it that way. We're waiting for a couple more people to join in, so while we're waiting, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I have worked with the Tuscano agency for 26 years. It's starting 26 years. I have moved around from different departments, starting with the reception area, clear to where I am now. I work in the administrative IT department. I help with the website. I help taking care of agency changes, broker changes, things like that. So if you have any questions after the webinar's over and you want to reach out to me and ask me additional questions that you may have not thought of during the webinar, feel free to contact me anytime. I'm always here for you. Well, I'm going to start with the home page, which is the marketing. We consider this our marketing page. This is the page, and I believe you all can see my website. This is the home marketing page where you do not need a login to access any of this information. You can see what states we write in. And as you scroll down, you can see some unusual risks that we recently bound. If you want to learn more about the agency, you can read the story here. You can flip through that storyline. We have different marketing ads that you can print off from here. Another tool that we have is a policyholder pay area. So this is a new feature that you don't have to be logged in. This is a feature that the insured can log in and make the payments. So we'll talk a little bit about that when we get to the accounting area. So I'm going to go ahead and log in. Your email address can be your Tuscano login ID, user ID. If you have a shared shared email, oh goodness, hold on. If you have a shared email address that's not unique to just you, you will need to use your user ID layout format of the 6 digits. As you can see here, mine would be 96000-24. That's what you have been using for years. Anyone who's new, you're not sure about that, your account number and then the dash number tells you who is actually logged in. Using your email address, if you have more than one Tuscano account, allows you to quickly change between the two different accounts. I have 2 test sample accounts here, so it would allow me to easily swap back and forth between the 2 of them. So when you log in, you're now in what we call the toolbox area. This view allows you to see what tools you have available, and we'll cover each one, as well as the area up in the upper blue area. So the first is online rating tool. You can get it from the toolbox, but if you're not in the toolbox area, you can easily find it in the blue. When you go to our online rating page, you can get rates, you can get indications, or you have submission tools. You can filter what you want to see. You can do a search on any key, and it'll search down all of the raters that we might have to show you what you're actually filtering for. When you find a rater that you really enjoy, click your favorite, and it builds your favorites. So you don't have to search for it every single time. So that's our online rating area. Underneath that, you'll see applications. So we have an application section up in the upper blue as well. Again, they both take you to the same place, so you don't have to be in the toolbox view just to get there. The application area has, as you can see, 693 applications. So you might want to filter and do a search. For example, if I typed law, it would bring up anything tied to a lawyer, a law firm, anything with that keyword. And usually less gets you more of a result. So if you don't want to type out a whole big slew of what you're searching for, it'll limit your results. So as you can see, some of our applications say fill in and email. If I click on the fill in, of course, you can fill it in right on our website. You don't have to print it off and then handwrite it or type it or annotate it. Some of the fill-in applications also have an area at the bottom where you can fill in your email address, your agency name, and hit submit, and it actually submits right through our website as well. And email would be if you wanted to email that application to the insured so they can start filling out some of the information and get it back to you. So that's a wonderful feature we have on our applications area. So underneath applications, you will find the events for other webinars, other CE classes that we might be holding in our office. We personally do not put those CE classes off. We allow someone to come into our office, and TOEIC CE is one that we allow into our office to have classes for you. Another great webinar that you might want to attend is the New Broker webinar, and this one is where we pull an underwriter from each department. You get to learn and meet and see our underwriters, hear what kind of risks they enjoy writing. So it gets you more in touch with the products and what can we do for you, what can we do well for you. So that's another webinar you might want to join in. Next, I'm going to take you to the My Accounts area. And again, don't forget, if you have a question, feel free to ask it. Feel free to unmute your phone and just stop me anytime. The My Accounts area is a really good area for customer service reps. It'll bring up the list of policies you have with Tuscano Agency, which you can then do your filters if you want, or you can type in a word, name of an insured. Once you find it, just click on the policy number. The policy information for the policyholders is in the upper left. This lower left area shows you the status of the policy, who the carrier is, what the effective dates, if it's agency bill or direct bill. On the right-hand side, you see the name of the underwriter and the assistant in Tuscano's office in case you have any questions you want to reach out to. You know exactly who to reach out to. It even lets you know how to report a claim, even if it's after hours. The tabs at the bottom, limits and premium, just recaps that for you. Accounting tab will tell you and show you all of the billing transactions that have taken place on that particular policy. If you have a manager level login, you will also have the ability to make a payment right through our accounting tab on the policy. The schedule will recap the schedule. So if it's a property, you'll see the location. This particular example is a commercial auto. So of course the schedule is made up of the vehicles and the drivers. If you have a trucker stuck at a wait station and they don't have their ID card, you could actually log in, print one ID card, and send it right to them without even having to pick up the phone or contacting Tuscano. You have that tools available to you. And that's the nice thing about the Tuscano website. You have access to your policies, you have access to raters, and you have access to applications. Even when Tuscano Agency is closed down, you might be working late on an evening and you need an application to fill out, or you want some information, or you get a call on the weekends whenever your office is open and Tuscano is not. You still have access at your convenience. Certificates of insurance, you can issue certificates right through our website. You can open up a certificate that was previously issued. So if I add a new holder, I can put the information in there, and as you can see, I can email and fax, whichever the certificate holder prefers, right from our website. You can also request special wording or additional insured status, but know that if you use any of the special word or special type of interest, it throws it into a submit status. And we have a wonderful lady, her name's Mary Jo, who works to get these certificates out. When those requests come in through the website, she begins working with the staff, working with the carriers, and as soon as it's approved, she emails it back to the person that was logged in. So even though you have those special request certificates, you can still start the process right through our website. And a lot of times that ends up being a lot quicker as well. Okay, and so I'm going to back to the policy. Now you have a Documents tab. The document will show you the original policy and an endorsement, any corresponding invoices that went with it. You can open a PDF at any time to get a copy of that policy, a copy of the endorsement or invoice. So I'm going to take you to the tool. Whoops, I want to go back. I want to show you something else I forgot to show you. You have the ability to submit a request right from within the policy. You have different types. Maybe it's a policy inquiry. Maybe you have a change request that you want to submit. You can do it right through our website, right through that policy. Now I'm going to go back to the toolbox area. You have access to your expiration list. Of course, this is a fake account, so we don't have a whole list of them, but you would see all the different expirations. You can even sign up to receive an email whenever we upload our next month of expirations. Now keep in mind, if you're signing up for this, you're signing up just to be notified when we upload expirations. You might not have any expirations in a particular month. So if you go there and you don't see that month, it could be that you don't have any expirations in that month. But you'll get an email either way. So I'm going to go back to the toolbox area. Now we talked a little bit, or I talked a little bit about having 3 different levels of authority with your login. A user cannot get into anything accounting related, can't make payments, can't see the commission schedule. A manager level can. The level above a manager would be an administrator. So the administrator can do everything user, everything manager, and go into the admin area, which I'll show you at the end. So if you do have accounting staff and you want them to go into the accounting, make sure you have a manager level login for them. Now within the accounting area, you can set your banking information to make any kind of ACH transactions. So you have a couple invoices that you want to pay. This is your agency's bank information, and you're scheduling making payments on those agency bill policies. Now, you also have the ability to pull up and view the current month statement, prior month statement. This test account doesn't have any active invoices in there, but if there were, there would be 2 lines that says, what do you want to view? Do you want to view the statement that was printed at the end of the closing last month, or do you want to see open items? A lot of people really enjoy seeing the open items because there might be coverages that they need to pay for that they just bound and we haven't closed the month yet, as well as a few policies from last month. So anything with an open item you would have access to, and that's a view a lot of people will really enjoy. And you can just walk through the process of paying that bill right through this area. If you look to the lower right-hand corner, there is electronic direct bill commission. You can sign up and enter your bank account. For any direct bill policy, your commission will be deposited directly into your account instead of waiting for Tuscano agency to write you a commission check and mail it to you and then take it to the bank. This is so much easier, convenient, wonderful for your accounting staff. The same way with credit balances. So you might have a credit balance on an agency bill policy. You want that money right away, put that banking information right in that deposit for credit balances. And again, you won't have to wait for a check to be delivered from Tuscano. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful feature. So I'm going to go back to the toolbox area. Now in this toolbox area, you have access to production and commission summary reports. You can open it as a PDF or an Excel. So this is a billing transaction report, not a policy list from January to whenever. So it would be any billing transaction that took place in that year will show up. That would be endorsements, cancellations, brand new policies, renewals, anything. I'm going to go back to the toolbox. All right, so there's electronic deposit signups in case you want to go right there instead of accessing the online place to find it. You have that. You have access to Highland Premium, access to personal lines, ID cards. If you do not have an ID card that comes with your binder, you can issue right there. Access to personal line carriers. Now, these 3 carriers are personal lines, and all of their policies and all of their work is done through their website. So we are giving a link right to that. So it's easy and convenient for you to be able to continue to write new policies and access your policies that you have through Tuscano Agency right there. So now I'm going to take you up to the commercial and personal. These are our product pages. So I'm going to click on commercial, and let's say we have a contractor. I click on the contractor, and it gives me a little bit of information about a contractor. It shows you the underwriting team in case you want to reach out to one of them and call. It tells you what states we have access to write that. It lets you know if there's any rater for that type of class, and it tells you what applications we might ask you for, as well as other related products. So you might be going out to see a contractor, and this would say, hey, why don't you ask him if he needs builder's risk, or what about contractor's equipment or general liability, or an umbrella. So it's just sort of like a thought of help you cross-sell more risks for you. You will see live support on some of our pages. Anytime you see live support and you want to utilize that, feel free. You'll talk to an underwriter. It will allow you to just quickly ask them a question. You might have an insured on the phone, and instead of putting them on hold and calling us, you can chat on that live support to get your answers. So that's another feature we have available for you. And the product pages are all pretty much laid out the same way. Again, it'll show you who the underwriters are. So that would be commercial and personal. We laid out the same. So if you're not sure where to find something on our website, you have a great search box. So let's say we have, I want to do a daycare. I did not hit enter. I just typed the word day, and it's bringing up, there's a product page. It brings up who are the underwriters and staff that have that mentioned in their name. And I can quickly go right to it from there. So if I hit trucking, as soon as I start typing, it brings it up. Who are the raters, the products, and who are the carriers, things like that. So that's another nice feature for you. So we talked a little bit about user level and manager level. Now let's talk about the administrator. A user or manager will see the word profile, and it only allows them to update their own individual profile. But administrator will see admin in this upper right-hand corner. The admin area lets you see how your agency's information is in our system. So if you need to correct the address, you can. If you need to add your website or add in your legal name and EIN number. If you are licensed in states that aren't shown, you can update and add all those states that you're licensed in. That way, when you submit a risk to us and it's for New York, and we don't know that you're licensed in New York because we've never received a copy of your license, we've never been informed that you're licensed, we would stop and ask you those questions. But if we see that you are licensed in New York automatically because you've told us, we won't stop and go through those whole steps. We will continue to work on that risk, and there will be no delays. It'll just work a lot smoother between our offices. The same way with direct carriers. It's important for us to know who your direct carriers are, because there's times when we don't want to waste your time trying to fill out applications if a carrier you have direct is usually a lot of competition for us. So we save you time. If we know, you can also come back and say, okay, I know we are direct with a certain carrier, but I want you to continue with this quote. Maybe the insured doesn't like the carrier. You just never know. But having that information helps us as well as helps you. Why would you want us to quote something that you already can access direct? You're going to look at that and go, oh, well, that was kind of a waste of time because I already have that quote over here. So it'll help you as well as help us. So like I said, you can just edit that information anytime. You can just hit edit, add your states, add your direct carriers. I'm going to bounce out of that. You can add a branch location. Let's say you have a branch office in a different city. You can add that. You can add staff. You can delete staff. You can edit their information. Let's say they have the wrong email address for that person. You can create them their own Tuscano login. You can tell who has a login by the web access. Everyone with a check mark has their own individual login. And the reason why we have individual logins and not shared, besides the level of authority that we have for them, we email back and forth based on who's logged in. If you submit a risk to us and you're logged in as Shirley, we're going to think Shirley's the one who sent it to us, and we're going to keep responding to Shirley and her email address. And you're going to sit there and wonder why Tuscano, it's like falling into a black hole because they never answer me, while Shirley's sitting there going, why does Tuscano keep sending me this stuff on this insured? It's because you're logged in as Shirley. So it's a good idea to have everyone have their own login. Let's see, this Jamie McQuiston here does not have a check mark, so I want to give her a login. I simply click on her name. I click Edit, Create Tuscano.com login for this individual. That's what I want to do. And I want to give her a user level. I double check to make sure everything's accurate. If her email address is incorrect, our site will not be able to send her the email. But once I hit Update Profile, it tells me an email has been sent to, and it sends that directly. So you don't have to tell that person that they have a new login from Tuscano and what it is. They're going to get an email. So the admin person just created a login within a couple clicks. As well as deleting someone. You can delete as well as add. Let me show you real quick here. Delete Marilyn. If I wanted to delete, I simply hit the delete key. Are you sure? I say okay, and that person's gone. So the admin area really is a great place to make sure the communication between our offices runs smooth, making sure we're hitting the right person to get the information to them so they can quickly get it to the insured. We have a staff page. If you're not sure who to contact at Tuscano Agency, check out the staff page. We're broken down by department, so if you know you're trying to reach somebody in the package property or liquor team, you can quickly get to that team. If you want to see only underwriters, just click the Show Only Underwriters button, and it filters out everyone except for the underwriters on that team. If I uncheck it, everyone comes back. You can view by a person's first name. Let's say you don't know what department, but you remember talking to a Melissa. If I do a search on first name, I can scroll down to find Melissa. So in the staff page area, I'm part of the information technology. So in the staff area, you can tell if they're in the office or if they're out of the office. So there's no sense trying to reach out to Zach because he's not in the office. You might want to reach out to another underwriter or another person on that team. If you want to view the profile on that person, Tuscano Agency is very much concerned about building relationships. We don't want to just be a wholesaler. We want to build great relationships with you. We want to enjoy working with our agents, our brokers. And one way to do that, and one way to build relationships, is getting to know each other. We don't want to be a voice or a name behind an email. So allowing you to get to know us helps build that relationship. So you can view the profile of anyone in the office. You can see who's addicted to caffeine, who has to have their coffee early in the morning, who has dogs, and you might find something that you have in common with that person, and that's an easier way to build relationships. So the profiles is a nice way to get to know us, and hopefully in our dealings with you and writing business, we will get the privilege of getting to know you as well. So I have covered a lot of the areas in the blue. I did not cover Contact Us, which is plain and simple if you want to know who to direct something to. For example, we have a commercial submissions email address. You have applications, but you don't know who to send it to, just email it over to submissions@tuscano.com. Personal lines have a PL for personal line submissions. You want loss runs, but you don't know who to send it to, just send it over to our loss runs email address. So I hope I answered a lot of questions that you may have had about our website. There's one thing I wanted to touch base with. Let me see if I can find it here. Oh, it was on the staff page, that's where. It's in a couple places, but I wanted to find the easiest one. If you notice, there's an 800 number, 442-8063. That goes to our receptionist. So if you want to call that 800 number up anytime and say, hey, I have a special event, can you pass me to an underwriter? You don't have to know, they'll just do it for you. But if you know who you want to talk to and you call the 866 number, you have to know the 3-digit extension, but that bypasses the receptionist, goes directly to that person's desk. And that's why we show the extension number on every single profile that you see here, because we want you to be able to quickly get a hold of someone directly without needing to talk to the receptionist. So if anyone wants to unmute their phone and let me see if I can, attendees who can, I'm trying to see if I can unmute your phones for you. Are there any questions? I don't see any questions. Is there something on the website that you were wishing our website would do and realized it could do it and you just didn't know you had the ability to? Let me know if you have any suggestions on ways to improve our website. We try to do our website and build all the tools with you in mind, the end user, because what good is a website if it makes it more difficult for you to use? So if you have suggestions, let us know. There's one place I wanted to show you. I didn't touch on it, but I'm going to go there now. Is under Home, you have companies. So this is a list of carriers that we write with. And as you can see, you have access to their NAIC number as well as their AM Best rating and financial strength. If you want to view more information on that particular carrier, just click on their information. There's a lot of different areas on our website, so feel free to go in and click on things. You're not going to break it. If you get stuck somewhere, if you are having trouble finding something, feel free to call me anytime. I'm definitely there for you. I think if no one has any questions, I think I'll go ahead and close out the webinar. But keep in mind, like I said, I am here for you. You can call me anytime. I'm Melissa Tressler, and there's my phone, and my extension is 112. So I have enjoyed sharing the website with you, and I look forward to getting to talk to you on the phone, getting to email you. And like I said, keep in mind that webinar that's coming up on the 25th. Let me get to the events again. For new brokers. Again, it's only a 30-minute, but that's where you can actually meet the underwriters and hear the different unique risks that they can write for you and what they're good at, what they see a lot of, what they enjoy working on for you. I think you would really enjoy that webinar as well. All right, since there's no questions, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Thanks again for joining me.